Hello everyone. In the series of Learning Database Management System, our today's topic is stored procedure and function in SQL. So stored procedures or functions, they are subprogram which can be created and saved in database as database objects. So they are same subprograms or a code of block like we used to have in our other language C, C++. So here in database, they will be created and saved as a database objects. They can be called or referred inside the other blocks also. So whenever we require them, we will call them or refer them. So whatever definition we are writing inside these blocks will get executed. So important part of these stored procedures and function is parameter. The parameter is a variable or a placeholder of any valid SQL data type. So you can create a parameter, it's nothing but a variable, or you can call it as argument also, and you have to give a valid SQL data type through which the SQL subprogram exchange the values with the main code. Now, this parameter allow you to give input to subprogram, or it it will extract the value from the subprogram. So according to your requirement, you can pass the value or you can take the value from the subprogram. These parameters should be defined along with the subprogram at the time of creation. So as in the C also, when we were defining a function, we have to declare the arguments. We have to tell the data type of the argument, the name of the argument. Similarly, here also, whenever you will create the stored procedure or function, you have to define that this argument, for example, for integer type and the variable name or parameter name A I'm going to use in this particular block of code. So at the time of creation itself, we have to explain. These parameters are included in the calling statement of the subprogram to interact the values with the subprogram. And whenever we are calling the subprogram, there also we will be needing these parameters. The data type of the parameter in subprogram and the calling statement should be same. So all these are the very basic points. Whenever we use function programming, we do this because if I want to perform an operation on integer type parameters, now when I'm calling the value, when I am fetching the value, for holding the value which is coming from that particular function block, again I need a same data type, integer type parameter to hold that value. Fine, it's understand this like if Shoaib Akhtar is throwing a ball, then we need Virat Kohli to catch that ball. If Shah Rukh Khan or Salman Khan is standing there, he will not be able to do batting on Shoaib Akhtar's ball, right? Similarly, if I'm operating on integer type variable, I need integer type variable to catch the value or to display the value. The size of the data type should not mention at the time of parameter declaration, as the size is dynamic for this type. So we need not to mention the size of the parameter, it will be dynamic. So basically parameters are classified into three types. Here we are having three types of parameter: in parameter, out parameter, and in out parameter. So one by one we are going to see all these three parameter. First one is in parameter. This parameter is used for giving input to the subprogram. Whenever I'm using in parameter, that means I want to pass the value to the subprogram. It is a read-only variable inside the subprogram. The values cannot be changed inside the subprogram. So it is a read-only. That means whatever value I am passing from the main function, the same, or from the calling place, the same value it will use. In the calling statement, these parameter can be a variable or a literal or expression. For example, it can be in form of this arithmetic operator, for example 4 plus 3, or it can be in the form of a cross b, like this expression where a and b are the variables. So in any form we can pass the value. By default, the parameter are of int type. So if I'm creating a procedure and I'm not writing anything in the parameter list, then by default all the parameter means if I'm not mentioning the type of the parameter, I'm writing the parameter, I'm writing the data type of the parameter, but I'm not mentioning the type of the parameter, then by default it will be taken as int type parameter. Next, we are having out type parameter. This parameter is used for getting output from the subprogram, as its name implies. It is a read-write variable inside the subprogram. The value can be changed inside the subprogram. So when we are using out parameter, we can read it as well as it will send us the value also. In the calling statement, these parameter should always be a variable to hold the value from the current subprogram. So whenever in the calling statement, when it is a out parameter, that means from the subprogram or the function, it is going to send us the value. So the place where we are calling this particular statement, where we are calling that particular procedure, these parameter should always be a variable which will hold the value which is coming from the subprogram. Next, we are having in-out parameter. This parameter is used for both giving input and for getting output from the subprogram. This is a read-write variable inside the subprogram. The values can be changed inside subprogram. So here in-out will having the benefits of both the parameter in and out. So here you can use it as read-write variable. In calling statement, these parameters should always have a variable, as it is the condition for out parameter to hold the value from the subprogram. These parameter type should be mentioned at the time of creating the subprogram. If we are not mentioning the type, then by default it will be taken as in parameter. So here you can see the syntax to create a procedure. So as you can see, for creating a procedure, I have to write create procedure and then you have to give procedure name. After that, in these small brackets, because it's a procedure, or let's say it's a function. So whenever we are talking about a function or procedure, these small brackets are coming. Inside that small bracket, you have to give the parameter specifics. So as you can see here, you have to mention in or out or in out which type of parameter it is. Then you have to mention parameter name, and then you have to mention parameter type. If more than one parameter you are using, then for example, I'm using in, my parameter name is a, and that a is of integer type. Then after that I want to use another one, so I have to give a comma. Then I will use out parameter name, let us suppose b, and that parameter is of string type. So all this I have to give this here in the bracket. Then we have to write begin. So from here my procedure or my function code will begin. Whatever definition or execution code you want to write, here you have to write between begin and end. Now for ending all the statement here in the procedure, we will be using delimiter as semicolon, because we know that default delimiter is semicolon. So in the previous lecture, I have taught about delimiters, and I have taught also how to redefine the delimiter when we use procedures and program. So as you can see here, we are using semicolon somewhere else. So our default delimiter we have to change. So that I have explained in the previous lecture of delimiter. If you have not seen that video, please see that video so you can understand better. Now let's create a procedure so it will be more clear to you. So first of all, I'm having a student database. So I'm using the student database. So I'm writing use student DB. Here I'm having a student table. So let me show you for student table. So I'm writing for fetching all the data from student table. Select star from student. Okay, so as you can see, this is my student table, which is having 5 columns as num, as name, major, level, and age. Okay, now let me tell you how to create a procedure and then call a procedure. Fine. So as you have seen, delimiter, semicolon, we will be using in the definition of procedure. So first of all, I have to change my delimiter. For changing delimiter, what is the symbol? I have to write delimiter space, and uh, whatever new delimiter you want now, that delimiter character you have to give. So I'm giving these forward slashes. So here, if you can see, now my delimiter is changed. Okay, now I'm creating the procedure. So syntax for creating the procedure, I have to write create, and then I have to give procedure, and then I have to give procedure name. So for this student table, I'm creating the procedure. So I'm giving the procedure name as show details, and it's a procedure, or let's say it's a function. So I'm putting this bracket. Right now I'm not passing any argument. Right now no parameter I'm using. If I will use the parameter, I will write inside these bracket. But for this procedure, I just want to show you the data. I just want to show you how a procedure will be created and how it will be called. So I'm not writing anything inside. Okay, now after this, my procedure should begin. So I'm writing begin. Now here I have to give the execution code. What I want this procedure to be done. So here I want it to display all these data, which is done by the select star from student. This I want, as soon as I will call show details procedure, this entire data should come in front of me. So I'm writing here for displaying the data, it will be done by select star from table name, and my table name is student. So as you can see here, this will be done by this particular command. So this I'm writing in the execution block, and for ending this statement, I'm using the default delimiter, which is a semicolon. But as you can see here, my program is not ending. Why? Because I changed the delimiter sign. If I would have not changed the delimiter sign, instantly here I would have got errors and some output or error, because here these statement, my compiler will not understand what's happening, right? Without any proper ending, it will throw error here. So here I'm using select star from student in the execution block of this particular function, and then I am ending this, and here I will be ending this function. So for ending this function or procedure, what I have to do? I have to put the delimiter. And what is my new delimiter? This is my new delimiter. As soon as I will put this, my compiler will understand, okay, this procedure is done. Okay, so as we are doing this, it's mentioning query okay. That means a procedure with name show details is created, and what that particular procedure will do, it will display the details, all the details of student table. Fine. Okay, so let's call the procedure, or let's first change the delimiter. Fine. So how to change the delimiter? Again, I want to make it to semicolon, so I have to write delimiter space semicolon, because this is my default delimiter. So I'm changing this. Okay, now for calling the procedure, we just have to write call, and we have to give the procedure name. So what is my procedure name? My procedure name is show details. Fine. And it's a procedure, Obviously it's a function, so it will come with a bracket. And now what is my delimiter? Semicolon, because I have changed it again. So semicolon is my delimiter. So as soon as I will do this, if you can see that particular, when I called this procedure show details, it searched for a procedure and it reached to the database. It saw this procedure, and what's there in the definition of the procedure, it will fetch all the details from student table. So when I called this procedure, I got all the details from student table. So this is how your procedure work. So this is it for this session. Hopefully this stored procedure and function are clear to you. This was one example. In coming videos, I will explain more examples about stored procedures and function. Thank you.